I'm going to call this meeting to order of City Council, June 26, 2023. Could we have a roll call, please?
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber? Yes. Williams?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, next thing is approval of minutes. I guess, Chris, you will have to abstain from that.
I move that we approve the minutes of June 12th, 2023.
Second.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Williams?
Abstain?
Miller?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
All right, we have a set of resolutions on our agenda tonight. They only require one reading and then passage. So we will begin with the first one, resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a contract documents with Horner and Schifrin Engineers through the Missouri Department of Transportation. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. We, as you are aware, that the city received a grant from the Missouri Department of Transportation for the replacement of the Pollock Road Bridge. And it's time to begin the design work on it and to cover the details of this resolution. Drew Williford.
Good evening, or good afternoon, Council. As Bruce mentioned, this is for the replacement of Pollock Road Bridge. Because the design costs were anticipated to be over $100,000, we went out for a request for qualification process. And we ended up having a total of 9 engineering firms, so it was pretty competitive, submit letters of interest for the design and the construction services on this project. The scoring committee evaluated all 9, and we found that Horner and Schifrin provided the best submittal of those 9. So we entered into contract negotiation, and as you can see, we were successful in negotiating a contract with them, and it has gone through the review process at MoDOT. MoDOT is okay with moving forward. That contract is for a total amount, we do split it out here on the agenda, total amount of $373,043.47, with $289,534 and some change being for design services, and then construction coming in at a little over $83,500. And with that, it's important to note that this grant is about a 12% match. So this is a little bit of a different process than what we used to call the old off-system bridge replacement program. This is the new regional bridge program. So it actually is a better deal for the city, and we were fortunate to get selected for the process. With that, because of the way the timing of the grant fell last year, we did not have this budgeted for this current fiscal year. We do have some savings that we kept in the CIST line item, just in case we needed to apply those savings for design services on this project. And so with those savings for the remainder part of this year, and then budgeting for this next year, and even the year after that, to go into construction, we do anticipate having sufficient funding to proceed. So we would recommend with proceeding by reading and title only of this resolution. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
So this 373, this is a match? This is 12%? Or?
That's the total. And then our portion would be 12% of that number. We'll be reimbursed that, though. So it'll come out of our fund, and then we'll get the reimbursement in partial payments.
So we're only paying 12% of the 373?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was worth noting that the total bridge estimate by MoDOT for replacement, which includes design, is $1.3 million.
Did I hear when this might get started, the project?
We're hoping spring, well, it has to be under construction contract by September of next year, no later than that. So we would hope by then it would be started. We're hoping a little sooner.
Okay.
I find it interesting that the construction is only $84,000 ballpark number. There's no concrete in that?
This is just for the design. So this would be the cost of just the inspector alone.
Okay, so you're talking about 1.2 million being a total?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This would be just that inspector or inspectors, and then all the paperwork that goes along with checking your steel requirements and everything.
Gotcha, misunderstood. I think that's what Mr. Miller was trying to explain to me, but I was too stupid to understand it.
Motion?
I move for the first reading of bill number 2023-41.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Bill number 2023-41, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Horner and Schifrin Engineers Incorporated for BROR 1191 through the Missouri Department of Transportation. I move for passage of bill number 2023-41.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes, I said yes, I'm sorry.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Okay, moving on. The next two bills have to do with stormwater grants. They are different grants, so they are different bills. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, this, again, the city was awarded 2 grants to the Department of Natural Resources under the American Rescue Plan Act. And so we have to take these separate, because there are separate grants being awarded. The first one has a little bigger match than the second one. But to cover the details, and again, Drew Williford, and this is for the engineering parts of these applications.
So I don't misunderstand it again. Thank you.
That is exactly right. These are 2 different grants, both through the Department of Natural Resources with their American Rescue Plan Act funding. You actually have seen the first half of this already come through your agenda. We, in the process of pursuing this grant, had to go through the request for qualification process, and we selected 2 firms because of the large amount of grants that we got back. First firm was Miko Engineering in Hannibal, Missouri. The second firm that was selected out of these 8 was Bartlett & West out of Jefferson City. And so we have approached Bartlett & West for negotiating the contract. They have provided such. It has been reviewed by the Department of Natural Resources and granted approval to proceed. So at this point, we're asking to proceed with this grant. That is the grant number 1, I'll say, the 21% grant match has a total design and construction services cost of $183,673, while the grant, which is the $1 match, has a cost of $403,299, bringing the total contract between the 2 grants up to $586,972 even. And so this has been budgeted for. This is part of the grant process. We'd recommend proceeding by title only passage. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for reading bill number 2023-42.
Second.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes. Bill number 2023-42, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Bartlett & West for the ARPA Stormwater Grant through the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, DNR SWE 6A CF0D6A 299. I move for passage of bill number 2023-42.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes. I'll just go with 43. Is that okay? Or do we have to talk about it? I move for reading of bill number 2023-43.
Second.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes. Bill number 2023-43, resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Bartlett & West for the ARPA Stormwater Grant through the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, DNR SW 745E73C59FEE. I move for passage of bill number 2023-43.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Okay, moving on, Part D. Next bill is 2023-44. It's a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a contract documents with Plan B Development for an Elmwood sanitary sewer extension project. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, this is for an extension of the sanitary sewer, and mainly to help provide service to the Elmwood Cemetery Maintenance Building. To cover the details of this project, once again, Drew Williford.
Council, this extension, excuse me, will actually intersect our main that runs on the west side of town, almost by the city limits itself off Elmwood Drive. And as part of this process to support it, we went out for bids for nearly 400 feet of main, 3 manholes, and approximately 50 feet of sewer lateral. And during that bidding process, we were fortunate enough to have 4 bidders, with Plan B Development coming in as the low bidder. at $37,700. Our engineering estimate for this project was $41,390. There is sufficient funding to cover the cost of this line item, so we would recommend proceeding here with reading the title only. And if you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
I move for reading of bill number 2023-44.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Bill number 2023-44, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Plan B Development LLC for the 2023 Elmwood Sanitary Sewer Extension. I move for passage of bill number 2023-44.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Okay. Moving on from sewers and storm drains. Bill number 2023-45, the resolution authorizing the city manager to enter agreements with the Mexico school districts, provide additional police services to the district. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, this is for the city to enter into contracts with the school district, and this is our annual renewal for our SRO programs. To cover the details, Chief Mesco.
So yeah, as Mr. Slagle indicated, this is just a continuation of the SRO program we've had in effect probably since 98 or 99. It's been a pretty beneficial program for both public schools and public safety. So yeah, the attached resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into agreement with Mexico school districts to assist in providing additional police services at all school district locations. The city of Mexico, by its public safety department, would assist by providing police services for the safety and protection of the students in the public school district. The cost for these services will be funded by the Mexico school district. So we recommend that the city of Mexico and the Mexico school district enter into the agreement providing one full-time and one part-time school resource officer, and the council proceed with the reading and passage of the resolution.
Questions? I am going to make this motion. I move for a reading of bill number 2023-45, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into agreements.
Second.
Second.
You're going too fast.
Okay.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Now,
Okay. Now, F, we ready for F?
No, you don't.
You got to read it.
You got to read it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading it. Okay. Number 2023-45, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into agreements with the Mexico School District to assist in providing additional police services to the school district. Passage.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda, bill number 2023-46, resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with J. Jacoby for the operation of the Mexico Memorial Airport. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. This is the renewal of a contract with Mr. Jacoby. This is for a 3-year contract renewal, and to cover the details of the contract, Amy O'Brien.
The request for proposals was placed in the Mexico Ledger accepting proposals to manage the Mexico Memorial Airport. The deadline to submit a proposal was June 20th, and one proposal was received from J. Jacoby. Mr. Jacoby's proposal included a 3-year contract that is effective July 1st, 2023 to June 30, 2026, providing the same services as his previous contract, which included managing, the manager will provide maintenance, mowing, snow removal of the airport grounds, not including the runways. He will pay the city fuel fees in the amount of 5 cents per gallon, and will control penalties and enforcement of city ordinances dealing with self-fueling vehicles on the tarmac and trespassing, and the manager will have control of the farmland owned by the city that's adjacent to the Mexico Memorial Airport. The bid proposal includes an increase in monthly compensation from $2,750 to $3,750. J. Jacoby has been manager of the Mexico Memorial Airport for 22 years and has operated the airport with reliability and demonstrated excellent rapport with users of the facility. Since 2004, there have been significant improvements to the airport, and additional improvements are forthcoming. In addition to Mr. Jacoby's reliability, staff recognizes from past positive experience the value of having a manager with broad knowledge of the airport facility present during the capital improvement process. Staff recommends that council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution accepting the proposal submitted by Jay Jacoby for management of Mexico Memorial Airport and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement.
Move for reading of Bill 2023-46.
Second.
Reed.
Yes.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Bill 2023-46, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Jay Jacoby for the operation of Mexico Memorial Airport. Move for passage.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the business is an appointment to the Industrial Development Authority Board. Mr. Schlegel?
Yes, Your Honor, it was brought to our attention that Board Member Heather DeMint has moved outside of the city limits, therefore making her ineligible to be on the board. And so we had received an application from Penny Dartery expressing interest in serving to fill that unexpired term. So this is a council appointment to the Industrial Development Board, and this would be for an appointment then that would expire in October of 2028.
I move for the appointment of Penny Daughtery to fill the vacancy on the Industrial Development Board, which expires in 2028.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is claims.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
All right, and we're now at the place where we do comments from the council. We will begin. Steve, you want to start, please?
Yeah, I don't have anything, so.
Okay.
We can move down the
Chris?
line.
I wasn't here last meeting. My son's been everywhere, so I heard there were some nice comments made. I appreciate that, guys. I do have a question for the chief, though, because I know we're talking about golf carts here. But besides that, I almost ran into two of these motorcycle guys, like, yesterday. They got little bicycles with motors on the road. So what are we doing with this situation? Because it's just going to be, I mean, I was probably that close to nailing one of them. And I was like, because you just can't see them. They just come out of nowhere. And they're fast through there. And so just curious, because I know we're going to talk about golf carts, but then we've got this other issue going on too. And then the second, I do have another question on, it's disappointing to hear about soft surroundings leaving our community. In the meantime, have we seen what they're going to do with that building? Because Home Deck is on a freeze right now as well. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. So it might be a chance for us to actually get a building without it going to storage like every other building goes to.
Yeah, we've had conversations, of course, with soft surroundings, and we've had conversations with the building owner. And understand that it's in a Chapter 100 that will have to be dissolved because it's tied to their employment being here. They do have a contract on that building yet for 15 years. So from the owner's point of view, they're saying they're still obligated for 15 years to pay the rent. So we'll see. But you're right. We are looking at it also by saying it gives us an opportunity to market the building as well as far as further opportunities.
Right, because, I appreciate the big companies we have in town, but it just seems like we're becoming more and more reliable on one or two companies, and if something happens to one of them, we're in big trouble.
Diversity is the key.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. That's all I got.
Okay, we'll start on this one. Larry?
I don't have much, but I do want to compliment a number of organizations in the community. You know, in summertime, and maybe year-round, I don't pay attention, I guess, but several organizations have great programs for kids, and one of those is going on this week, the equestrian program at the Missouri Military Academy, and three of Carol's grandkids are here from Springfield and O'Fallon, Missouri, St. Louis, basically, participating, and they've been, one or all of them have been here the past 2 or 3 weeks with the Professor Hall Historic Society Camp.
Performance. Professor Hall Performance Center.
The Professor Hall Performance Center, yeah, camp. And then the Historical Society History Camp. And then one also participated as a little sister, or whatever they call it, in the pageant and stuff. So there's really lots of stuff, and lots of little kids from outside the community who are coming to Mexico for these things. And I want to congratulate those folks.
Chris?
Well, just, he mentioned all the things that are going on, or have been going on. Just don't forget that Walk Back in Time is coming up.
It's true, I hope it's cooler.
Yeah, they sent out some flyers looking for volunteers, so if you don't have anything to do, like Larry being retired, you know, you can always volunteer.
I drive around.
That's what I thought, you drove around.
Well, Eddie.
The other thing is, Bryce Mescal, what's the deal with the windows? Just everybody likes to break out windows in town?
There was one unhappy individual, and basically sent to the prosecutor to
Okay.
make sure that.
I mean, we had one on Jefferson a while back, and at the barber shop, and now we got some over there. I just didn't know whether that was a new thing to do, is to break out downtown windows, you know?
Well, hopefully not. We're trying to.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, we're talking about history societies. The Simmons Stable Society put on a big affair Saturday night that most of us probably weren't even aware of, and that was they did a big dinner and an induction they inducted people into into the Saddlebred Society board, and it was a big deal, except it was held inside that barn, and the heat index was 99, but I thought they did a good job, and it was fun to watch all of it. So, anybody else, anything else?
Let me just say one other thing. I assume everybody realizes we have an author from Mexico who's written a book. It's very interesting if you haven't bought it. Got it, and you talked about Simmons Stables.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to write two more. One's on Simmons Stables and one's on, can't remember.
No, something historical about Mexico.
It's Mexico.
Yeah.
The AP Greens, yeah. The first one's on the Mortimer murder that happened over on Jeff Street in 1936. That's going to be interesting.
Have you read the first book then?
Part of it.
Part of it.
Haven't finished it. Just got it.
All right. Okay, we've got our last item on the agenda, and that's our public comments from the public. Those of you who wish to speak, come to the mic and state your name and your address, and we would like you to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
My name is John Shaw, and I live at 1794 Bryan Place, and I was here seeing if the council would consider UTVs and golf carts in the city of Mexico. At this time, I have a permit to drive in Centralia, Hallsville, Perry, Lavalls, Ladonia, and Vandalia, and there's a lot of members in town that have side-by-sides and golf carts. And that's my question. Council.
Do you, the way I understand this, and you can, if and the other people can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're talking about your golf carts, you're talking about having them in compliant. I assume you can have them licensed through the state if they are under certain kinds of rules, right?
You can if they have a title from the manufacturer.
And you don't have a title from the manufacturer.
Correct.
That would mean a VIN number. Is that what you're saying?
I do have a VIN number. I did bring the application forms for all the towns around us. So you do have to have insurance, you have to have blinkers, and some towns require windshield, orange flag, and you have to abide by all traffic law.
So, Mr. Slagle, do you care to address that for just a second?
We're talking a couple of different things. One
Okay.
is that, yes, you can have low-speed vehicles. And that is, I believe, what you're referring to there. And those that
Welcome,
do
Lee.
come with, there's certain requirements under the state, such as, lights and seat belts and those kinds of things. And those do either come with a VIN number, so you have a title initially when they're produced, or I believe you can get them licensed with an inspection, and then, the Chief, you may know this as well, and I think you have to have, what, a trooper inspected or something for the state, is that? There's a process for that, I know. And I'm not sure how that all works, but you have to meet all those regulations. So there's a couple of different things. I think what he's asking, though, is to say it'd be a little bit different than what a low-speed vehicle would be. That these don't necessarily come with all of that. I'm not
Okay.
saying there wouldn't be some rules that may require some of those things, but that's something you'd have to look at.
Okay. All right, we'll consider what you're saying. Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All of,
Briggs,
yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.